Well, you've got a rugged team in Marquette coming in here to face the Cyclones. Marquette, if you characterized them in football terms, you'd say smash-mouth team because they'll get after you defensively. They're a physical team. I think they're going to want to play a half-court game. Iowa State, I think they'll play the zone, but I think they'll also try and pressure Diener, try to tire him out.
You know, for the Marquette Golden Eagles, they are led by Travis Diener, who you were talking about before.
A first-team all-conference player. He's averaging about 19 points a game. He's the closest thing you call to a Jack Armstrong All-American boy because he does it all for him. He leads it in scoring, assists, steals. He's a top three-point shooter and also an excellent free throw shooter.
You know, when we talk about Iowa State, they got a huge performance on the road at Florida State by Jake Sullivan.
Well, he got off to a great start for Iowa State down at Tallahassee against Florida State. He had 14 points in the first 11 minutes of play. He was 5 for 6 from the field in that stretch, 4 or 5 from the trays. And the one thing that he does, he has his best games here in Hilton Coliseum.
Well, this is the last semifinal game of the night here in the NIT tournament as it's Iowa State taking on Marquette. You're watching NIT basketball. It's a jam-packed arena tonight. Marquette in town trying to get to the NIT Final Four. They have to knock off Iowa State, and the Massey rating says Hilton Coliseum is the best home court advantage for any school. Here's the lineups for tonight. Iowa State with their same lineup as a night ago. Vroman, Homan, Sullivan, Blaylock, and Stinson. For Marquette, same lineup that they've used all postseason long. Novak, Sanders, Merritt, Mason, and Diener. A lot of fans here, as we mentioned then. That leads us to our keys to the game. The Marquette Golden Eagles, Gary, they've got a simple game plan they have to use, right?
Well, for Marquette, I think three-point shooting is going to be essential for them tonight. They'll go against the 2-3 zone or various zones. They're a great three-point shooting team, 41%, fourth in the country. And the other thing, I think they have to throttle Sullivan, get him on track early, because when he gets started and he plays well here, the Cyclones are really tough in Hilton Coliseum. When you move over to the Iowa State Cyclones, one thing they got to be careful is and guard is the foul line, not sending the Marquette Warriors to that foul line. They're a 75% shooting team from the foul line. And then they have to be constantly aware of Diener. As we said in the opening, he can do it all. You have to be aware of him and know where he is, because he's an assist man, a steal man, and a scorer.
Well, these two teams have met before. In fact, they have a pretty good series between the two. Marquette playing here at Ames, as we know that the Golden Eagles have played here in Ames before. In fact, you know, Gary, Marquette really has owned the advantage in this series. They lead at 5-2. They won the last meeting in 1997. Slim margin, though, here in Ames, 67-64.
Well, the Warriors beat, I think, in the NIT in '84 when Majerus was coaching. They beat Iowa State here 73-53, which would have been Majerus against Johnny Orr.
You talk about coaches. Let's take a look at tonight's coaches for the Marquette Golden Eagles. Tom Crean guided his team to the Final Four. In fact, this program has really been on a hot streak over the last several years under the direction of Tom Crean, and Iowa State under the direction of first-year head coach Wayne Morgan. In fact, the 19 wins, the single best season for a first-year coach at Iowa State.
Wayne Morgan also started the season with 7 straight wins, which was the best ever by an Iowa State coach in this first season.
One other NIT game being played tonight, and Oregon picks up a big victory on the road tonight. They knock off Notre Dame, so the Ducks have their ticket punched to Gotham, as they'll be joining Rutgers and Michigan. And now we have to find out who's going to be the last piece of the puzzle to play in that Final Four in the NIT at Madison Square Garden.
And we've got the winner of this one will go up against Rutgers.
Rutgers had a big game last night at home against Villanova and would seemingly have the home court advantage, being from nearby New Jersey.
Well, when I think of Marquette, I go back to 1977. BJ and Al McGuire coaching the national championship, and I happened to be working for NBC at the time. Worked all their games up to the Final Four, and as the first time I'd met Al And what a great guy. And we bumped into each other at the Final Four after that, and then later in that season. He's one of the nicest guys I've ever met.
Saw there just a moment ago that Tom Crean got his team here tonight by a couple of home wins. Iowa State, big victories against an SEC team and a team out of the ACC. And we're just about ready to go as Marquette and Iowa State are ready to do battle. The Golden Eagles already out on the floor wearing their blue uniforms with yellow or white numbers trimmed in yellow. For Iowa State, their home pearly whites with cardinal numbers and trimmed in blue. Here's Travis Diener, one to keep an eye on throughout the night for Marquette. And Curtis Stinson. They call him blue collar, the freshman out of the Bronx.
Well, the blue collar player Stinson was just named to the first team freshman All-American team by Basketball Times today, so he's more than blue collar.
It's time for basketball, and the opening tip controlled by the Cyclones. And Will Blaylock will start at the point for Iowa State, the 5'11 freshman out of Boston.
Warriors man-for-man defense. Damian Mason just looks like he's going to go face up against Sullivan.
Here's Stinson in the lane, and Iowa State will hold on to it.
You know, that's one of the things I know all coaches fundamentally teach. Go for that rebound with two hands. Secure it.
And Steve Novak had a chance to grab that one down to the 6'10 sophomore out of Brown Deer, Wisconsin. Sullivan quickly covered up.
Double up that time to look to help off him. Sullivan.
And Iowa State will turn it over. And that turnover by Will Blaylock uncharacteristic here in the NIT, as but Marquette really caused the damage there, Gary, with a lot of traffic.
Well, there was nothing there. There was nothing open on that play.
Marquette returns the favor. So both teams, would you say, Gary, a little jittery at the beginning?
Well, if those first two plays are any indication of it, but these are two teams that have been through the wars. They've played two games in the NIT right now, so they're going to be ready to play. There is the little extra, though, that this game decides who's going to go to the Garden. The Big Apple, Madison Square Garden.
Here's Vroman. Stinson with the board. Now Vroman, the putback, not there. Marquette will come out running.
Stinson that time lost his floor position, wasn't quite where he was. And there's a guy that will come down and train him. You're going to be aware of him, as we talked about all the time. Being a great shooter.
And Marquette with the early lead. There's Vroman backing in. Using the glass and getting it to go through.
Bowman for him against Florida State had kind of a so-so game, 8 points and 7 rebounds, but the two previous games he had been 23 points and 24.
Here's Mason. Finds his teammate Sanders.
That ball hit up there pretty hard. Maybe things are a little tight, except for a guy like Diener.
And Stinson will turn it over. Marquette into the front court, and the jam!
Boy, and a terrific play by Diener to give it off, because he knows he has a man trailing behind him that can maybe come up behind and block the ball or get the ball from behind as he goes for the shot. And as he gives that off, he's also then just a built-in screen for the guy going to the bucket.
Holman with a quick two on the other end for Iowa State. On the drive, Mason tripped up. The freshman coming out with a little juice here in the early going.
Guy Jackson Vroman at 6'10", getting caught on Mason there on the drive.
There's Mason in the lane.
Tough shot. Nice pass. Finds the open man. Iowa State right now, I think, is going to have to be more active in that zone. The Warriors finding some holes.
The freshman has 4 quick points for Marquette. Here's Vroman underneath.
Good fake and step through by Vroman right there, and Iowa State attacking inside.
That's a pretty good matchup, too. Vroman and Merritt here tonight.
Got Merritt at 6'10", 245. Vroman at 6'10", 220. But
players very athletic too, and they kind of create their own shots along the paint. That'll be fun to watch here tonight. Vroman at the line. Tom Crean working his team right now. Out to the three-point lead.
Vroman just a 52% free throw shooter. So in essence, when you got him down on the block, he gets fouled. He always got that chance of getting one free throw out of the two. You're defending against him. Iowa State with pressure.
Diener can't get this one to fall, and Sullivan gets the board.
2-on-1 for Iowa State.
And Vroman can't finish it.
That ball was put up there nice. He just did not handle the pass. Warriors coming down in fast break situation. Mason, oh, a nice play. They're coming underneath Vroman right there that misses the shot.
And there's a foul on Merritt. That'll be his second.
Thought of Marquette coming this game wanting to play half court. Their game has been a lot of transition. You see there, Iowa State's been caught not getting back on defense a couple of times.
Here's a timing shot. When it looks bad, it really looks bad. And just saw it there. Joe Chapman now into the contest. He'll be in for Merritt. 6'4" sophomore out of Sauk Village, Illinois.
As we looked at that play on the lob play again, probably the ball underthrown a little bit. It could have been just a little higher.
Vroman trying to back in, and he took an extra step. So the Cyclones will turn it over again. That's their fourth turnover of the game.
Iowa State a 2-1-2, three-quarter trapping type defense here. Wallace to keep. Oh, nice look by Diener.
On the other end, Chapman gets it to fall through. A friendly bounce. Make that rather.
No back. 6'10". And for people who haven't seen Marquette play, he's 6'10", but he's a great outside shooter. 44% from the three-point line.
Oh boy, are things going bad for Iowa State? An opportunity to slam it home, but they get handcuffed.
You know, the basketballs have to be softer nowadays. I have never seen so many balls that have been stuck on the rim. There again, pushes it right into the rim. Didn't used to see that happen that much. It was a rarity, but I see it all the time now. Boy, Diener's got great court vision, peripheral vision. He knows where the open people are all the time.
The open man, and Novak again, and he'll ring up a triple.
We just talked about him in the NIT, who's 8 for 14 in trades, 10 for 19 overall shooting the ball in the 2 NIT games. He's a great shooter.
Sullivan fouled on the attempt by Mason.
For Big 12 fans, and if you're looking in, when you look at Steve Novak, he probably compares a lot to Conklin from Nebraska, a 6'10" kid that stays out on the three-point line. I think in this case, Steve Novak is just a better version of that type of player.
Sullivan's free throw in there. Jake, a very good free throw shooter on the year, 93%.
89.5% in his career.
Sullivan connects on both, and that'll bring us to a timeout on the floor, and it's Marquette by 5. They've been able to get going as they've been getting some great play out of the freshmen. You're watching NIT basketball. Milwaukee and WB25 in South Bend, Indiana. In addition, hello to viewers from Cox Cable in the Omaha area. Thanks for being on board.
BJ, the Warriors starting out with good shooting. Marquette 5 for 8 from the field and 2 out of 3 from the three-point line. Iowa State, meanwhile, has turned it over 5 times early. Has got themselves in trouble as Marquette leads it 12-7.
Gary, one thing we haven't mentioned is jam-packed crowd here at Hilton Coliseum, and it was really warm outside the last couple of days here in Ames, and it's really added to the humidity in here. And could that be a factor later in this game?
It really could. It's hot in this arena. Some kids were talking about warming up, pointing to the coaches for their legs. And I don't know whether they were cramping already. I don't see how that could be, but it is extremely hot. That ball blocked behind by Stinson.
It'll stay with Marquette.
Blaylock and Diener a little pushing, trying to get established position out there. The official started talking to him. Let's play. Let each other play.
Novak guarded by Stinson. Sanders hands it off to Diener with 5 on the shot clock.
Great pass.
Novak, and the shot clock will expire. And Iowa State will force a turnover.
Novak that time lost track of the shot clock. Iowa State doing a good job of covering up.
Take a look at the rebounding margin. Iowa State with the advantage, but Marquette has shot the ball fairly well. Here's Sullivan open.
Iowa State got the look they wanted for Sullivan to get him on track right there. They got a good pick for him.
Inside, here's Mason. Tough rebound underneath by Marquette, but a traveling called against the Golden Eagles as Chris Grimm called for the walk.
Trying to call timeout and save the possession. Didn't get a call in time.
Cyclones trying to cut into the lead here. Still haven't really been in sync offensively yet, have they?
Oh, an interesting matchup here. Novak, 6'10", covering on Stinson at 6'2".
Marquette will get it back as another substitute into the game for Tom Crean. Joe Chapman in. He'll be in for Mason.
I think depth favors Marquette. And that could be a factor with depth, and we're talking about humidity and heat in this building tonight with over 14,000.
Sold out in less than 2 hours.
Iowa State is aware of Diener. You have to be aware of that guy too. And here comes Iowa State on the run. This is what they want.
Blaylock to Sullivan for 3. Bring it up. Bring it at 2. His foot was on the line.
Good look by Blaylock right there. But here is, you can't be self-satisfied as a team ever, because Marquette will come right back at the transition game, and they negate the 2 by Iowa State. Good job by the Warriors of coming right back and attacking.
Chapman with a bucket on the other end. And it looks like Marquette going deep into their bench. Todd Townsend will now check in. Junior out of Chicago.
This is another guy, Townsend. He hasn't shot the ball that well from the three-point line, but he likes to score from out in that area. So this whole team, Iowa State is going to have to be aware of them.
And a hold on Townsend along the baseline as Stinson was trying to get free.
Tom Crean running a number of guys at Stinson to cover on him. They just said Novak was on him. Now they bring in Townsend off the bench. They're going to keep fresh bodies on him and try and wear him down.
Bowman working his way to the hoop and has it knocked away.
Good defense by Marquette there. Block shot. Diener looking over at Coach Crean. Want to see what he runs, and you have to almost ask, because they run so many sets out of half-court offense.
Shot clock winding down here. Diener with a long 3. Vroman with a board.
Vroman, excellent jumper, 6'11", quick off the floor. High arching shot right there by Stinson.
Little pull up. That's the most open that he's been so far here tonight. And a foul up top against Iowa State. Blaylock, the guilty party. That'll be his first, the second team foul against Iowa State.
I don't think Diener ever visited Iowa State, but Iowa State recruited him under Larry Eustace when he was there. I do not think he ever made an official visit. He'd have been a good one for Iowa State.
Would have been a great one. He's really helped Marquette. You think about that tandem that they had last year when they ran to the Final Four.
Townsend, he turned down the three-pointer that time.
Chapman shot short. Townsend with the board. The putback not there, but he'll go to the line to shoot two.
Again, I said Marquette's got a lot of depth, but they're not guys that come off the bench and score a lot of points. They're not players that I think are going to turn on and beat you as a team. You have to respect them, but if I'm covering one of those guys, I'm going to make them show me something and hit the shots. And as you said, Iowa State was not going to put them on the foul line. Because overall as a team, good free throwers, but Iowa State probably picked the right guy there, only 50%. Only a few non-free throw shooters on his team.
Townsend couldn't buy one there. It was halfway down and then spun out of the cylinder. Marquette trying to add to their three-point lead, and they do. Sullivan inside to Holman. Jefferson works the baseline.
That was a good kick out, and Jefferson elected to take it in where he actually shot the ball in low pressure. He had a wide open shot on the kick out.
Here's Diener. Using his body in a charge called against Diener.
Good job by Iowa State that time of throwing up on the penetration.
So we can't get another look at this charge here, Gary.
Vroman just stands in there, keeps his hands up, and the key there is not bringing your hands down. Keep them up straight or take them away.
And that'll bring us to a timeout on the floor. It's Marquette with a 4-point lead on Iowa State. You're watching NIT basketball. Hilton Coliseum, and there's the Golden Eagle. And there's Cy trying to dance their way to New York, but right now the advantage to Marquette.
BJ, I want to apologize to the Marquette listening audience and their fans and team. I've been saying Warriors. I guess I've been around too long, and I go back to those days of working at Al McGuire when they were Warriors, but they've been Golden Eagles for about the last 9 years, I think it is, and I apologize for that.
Well, I tell you what, Tom Crean does have his team playing like Warriors, so I can see where those can cross over. Sullivan fouled on the play, and he'll go to the line to shoot two. So Jake Sullivan working hard here, Gary, to try to create his own shot because Marquette has had some pretty good defense on Sullivan here tonight.
Well, they know, as we talked about, they want to throttle Sullivan, not let him get off to a good start, but he's working himself to the free throw line, and that's like money in the bank for that guy at 93%.
Iowa State trims the lead down to 3. They can pull a little bit closer here. Marquette with 17 fouls. The lead to 2.
Pressure by Iowa State, full court.
And a foul against Iowa State. And against Marcus Jefferson, that'll be his first. Iowa State really applying the pressure here tonight.
I think one of the reasons they're doing more of that is because of Diener. They're trying to make him play with the ball, not sit in his zone and rest. They want him to work and try to tire him out because he's the key to the team.
Townsend does get the timeout called before he turns the ball over. And it will be a 30-second timeout charged to Marquette. Let's take another look at this one here again as Townsend goes to the ground.
Well, down, and normally right there, if you go down to the floor with that ball, it might be a traveling.
Tell you what, though,
he said he was calling timeout before he hit.
Yeah, he was landing on top of the ball. A 2-point lead here by the Golden Eagles. The winner gets to again advance to New York City next week for the NIT Final Four. Well, defense wins games for Marquette, and look at this. They've held their opponents to 62 points a game in their 19 victories this year, and right now holding Iowa State to 13. So looks like they're on pace to hold the Cyclones under 60 for the moment. Diener working against Sullivan. Chapman finds his open teammate.
Jackson in that lineup, good, solid guy, strong guy, 6'8" and 240. Iowa State out and running again.
2-on-1, and Stinson will draw contact before the shot. That'll be the 8th team foul, so it's a 1-on-1 opportunity here for Iowa State.
Iowa State doing a good job of attacking the basket, and Marquette now with 18 fouls, and one of our keys was Iowa State to keep Marquette off the foul line because of their great shooting ability.
Let's take a look at Stinson's hand here, Gary. You know, it's not heavily wrapped as it was before earlier in the year, but is it still a factor?
Oh, definitely. He can't handle the basketball. It's badly bruised, and it's amazing how this kid has played over the last, 7, 8 games maybe with that hand, and really sore when he first started, and he still had some terrific games. He's a competitor.
In fact, Stinson suffered that injury in the last regular season game against Colorado. He's played with it in 5 games, and Marquette with a 1-point lead. He came out of the blocks in a hurry, but Cyclones defense starting to settle in. Mason finds the open teammate. Will go to the line.
Boy, good drop-off pass there. Iowa State a little slow in the zone to react and finding the underneath man. Mason takes it up tough. Let's watch it again. Good passing team. Mason goes up, and what that happens when you go up for that shot, it kind of freezes the defense, and you saw the white jersey start to turn, and he hits Marcus Jackson wide open.
Junior from Peoria to the line, averaging nearly 2 points per contest, and can't get this free throw to rattle home.
Again, I say fortunate for Iowa State. We keep talking about the great free throw shooting of Marquette, but off the bench, Jackson another 50% free throw shooter.
And he misses them both, and Iowa State with this possession has an opportunity to take the lead.
Iowa State now sits in a 1-4 offense. People call it a box.
Sullivan for 3. Jefferson with the board, and the putback not there.
Jefferson did a good job of trying to use the rim to defend off the defensive man, but wasn't able to convert it. And you look at the number of players that Coach Tom Crean has played, he's using that depth there in the first half.
We're back. We'll hand off to Brandon Bell, seeing his first action.
Good penetration, trying to kick out those shooters.
Mason's runner not there, but he'll tip it out to get his own board.
Good hustle play. Running down the loose ball.
They get a fresh shot clock, and they'll work on this Iowa State defense.
He said they'll run their half-court offense. They'll be patient in it. If they can't get one sequence to work, they'll come back and keep running another play.
Underneath, the shot knocked away, and the Cyclones come up with the ball. Stinson ahead to Staple. Marquette will get it back.
And the lob play for Iowa State has not been very effective so far tonight. They've not been able to convert them.
The passes seemingly have been there, but not the finish.
Staple running the court well for Iowa State that time. Maybe should have caught the ball and come down and then powered it up. This time, like Marquette, 3 out and 2 in against his zone. Flash a man, which is Sanders into that middle.
Mason fired the triple, couldn't get it to fall, and Sullivan tracks down the board.
And Jefferson, 6'5", but he really got up in the air.
And the jumper in the lane not there, and each team, Gary, going cold.
Yep. Low-scoring game. Marquette by 1. With 8:32 to go.
Both teams have not made a shot from the field in the last 4 minutes. Inside, Sanders. No luck there, but the tip in is there by Marquette's Damian Mason. Lead grows to 3.
Mason, the big guard, averages 4.5 rebounds a game.
Jefferson underneath, and a jump ball called, and it will stay with the Cyclones.
Jefferson that time caught in poor position. Probably lucky to come out with a jump ball.
And that'll bring us to a timeout on the floor. Marquette with a lead of 3, 17-14. You're watching NIT basketball. Here's how the story reads so far. See, both teams not shooting the ball that well. Iowa State very cold, 4 of 16, but they've been thriving at the foul line. They're 6 of 8 there. That's how they've been able to hang in. Right now, Marquette with a 3-point advantage on Iowa State as we're past the halfway point here in the first half. And Gary, both of these teams, how do you explain it? Is it defense or what is it?
Well, there's a little bit of that, and also some missed shots. Iowa State has missed a lot of little triples around the basket. They're a 47% shooting team on the season, while Marquette is 43%.
And they just turned it over for the 6th time. Now we've got an official's timeout. I believe the shot clock did not go off.
They're resetting it.
So we'll get everything set and we'll redo it. We'll put 29 on that shot clock.
Iowa State had turned it over 5 times early, but now they'd settled down as far as turnovers going last time. 6 turnovers for Iowa State and 4 for Marquette.
John Neal into the contest for Iowa State. You'll see him wearing number 3, sophomore out of Winterset. Here's Diener for 3. Got it.
Good job by Marquette. Extra passing, good passing, keep it going. Nobody hangs on to the basketball and lets the defense catch up. Move it to the open man.
Vroman inside, had it deflected away. Stinson's put back there.
Stinson seemingly always in the right place. He really placed the basketball.
Mason on the other end, and a blocking foul against Iowa State. This one against Damian Staples. There's the nifty passing by the Golden Eagles.
Out, turns around, flips it back to that shooter, Diener, and he nails it.
Well, they set him up pretty well, don't they, with a screen?
And they know where he is at all times. That's why Iowa State has to be aware of him.
The free throw there by Mason. The lead back to 5 for Marquette. Mason's had a pretty good first half, 5 so far here.
I think he's in double figures.
Yeah, or excuse me, 10. In fact, he's 4 of 8 from the field. There's Novak, wide open look.
Iowa State has numbers.
Stinson.
Diener, a smart play right there. He's a guy that knows that he has to stay in the ballgame, even though it would just be his second. He turns and loose, makes a fake at him, and it doesn't pick up the second foul.
Diener will fire a long one. Stinson out running. Sullivan. Oh, the body fake. He does get a foul on Diener.
The 2, as you look at Diener right there, sensational junior for Marquette. Comes down, pushes the ball. Sullivan fakes, and then Sullivan gets him up in the air and makes. He wanted the shot, but for Sullivan, I would think he'd say that's great because it's usually 2 from the foul line.
It's a shifty move, wasn't it? Take a look at the free throw percentage here tonight. Cyclone 6 of 8. Marquette has been there, well, a few times tonight. Only right at 33%.
Fortunately for Marquette, as we said, the guys that are non-free throw shooters, or the poor free throw shooters, are guys that have gone to the foul line. And Iowa State has had Sullivan up there. That's his 5th, I think. Right? He's 5 for 5.
And Jake with 7 points. Iowa State still hanging around, down by 2.
Iowa State again will pressure a 1-2-2. Good job by Marquette getting the ball in the middle. They got 3-on-2 this end.
Iowa State does get back to slow it down.
Iowa State drops back in the 2-3 zone. The crowd, home crowd, trying to pick up their favorites. Iowa Iowa State doesn't have to worry too much about Bell on the outside. He's going to try and distribute the ball, pass it, keep moving, might penetrate and look to kick. There's the kick.
5 on the shot clock.
Iowa State's got to make sure now you don't foul when you get that shot clock run down, but there's Chapman.
And are you kidding me? Chapman with a long 3.
He's a good shooter, but actually he struggled with shooting in league play. He comes back there, and there's a big one for Iowa State.
The answer by Jake Sullivan. Both teams starting to maybe get kick-started offensively.
Nice ball movement to the Marquette. I like the way they keep moving. Bell's in and out. He'll replace himself. Iowa State doubles him down inside.
Townsend with the ball, and he'll make the smart move and bounce it off of Staple. 13 on the shot clock.
You get yourself in trouble if you get down in that corner and pick up a dribble, and Iowa State a nice job of trapping. Watch, he gets down here, picks up his dribble. Iowa State comes after him, Staple and Vroman, and he does a nice job of finally getting the ball knocked off of Staple and saves the possession for Marquette.
A heady play there by Todd Townsend, the junior out of Chicago. Ball passed in, but deflected out of bounds. Last touch by Iowa State. Blaylock was getting after it.
Townsend players again have to be aware if you're Marquette offensively, that shot clock down to 13.
Now we're inside of 5 on the shot clock. Bell, he'll register one from a long way away. Can't get it to go, and Cyclones come out running. Stinson inside, Staple.
Staple just loses his balance right there, not quite under control. It was a good pass by Stinson, a nice steal by Blaylock, stolen back by Marquette, and the action is really picking up, BJ.
It's ping-ponging around out there. And now Bell will slow it down to reset. It's Marquette 5-1.
Green up, calling the play. It looked like 4 down, whatever that is in their offense.
Well, Marquette very patient here tonight.
Started out with 2 guys on the block.
Here's Merritt underneath, finds his teammate, and they work it around. Bell will fire a long one. Vroman with the board.
Good defense by Iowa State. Nice passing by Marquette.
And it looks like the ball deflected out of bounds. Last touch by the Golden Eagles. And the Cyclones on this possession have an opportunity to get the lead, which would be their first. And another quick substitution into the game by Chris Grimm.
Another big body. Grimm 6'10", 235 sophomore, plays physical. Had 8 points in that first game against Toledo coming off the bench. Good double up on Sullivan, and that's the guy you do not want to foul knowing you're in that one-on-one situation.
Actually, it grows to 2 right now, as that is the 10th team foul committed by Marquette, and Sullivan at the line to shoot 2. And an opportunity to get the lead for the first time here for the Cyclones.
Sullivan and Mason carrying their respective teams. Sullivan with 11 points, Mason with 10.
With that rotating bench, though, Gary, for Marquette, do you think it'll be a factor at the end of this game?
That's what you'll have to wait on. See what happens in the second half, whether the shots start coming up short. One thing for Iowa State, they're playing on their home court here at Hilton Coliseum, so you have a lot of extra adrenaline with the crowd pumping them up from time to time.
And Sullivan hits both free throws, and the Cyclones do have their first lead of the game. That'll get the crowd going. And again, Marquette being very patient. That might be, Gary, because Diener's on the bench.
He's got a mismatch there now, but kicks it out. Good job of flying at Novak, and he forces that shot. More comfortable with just a catch and shoot.
2-on-1, and Blaylock puts it home.
Iowa State finally converts on a lob play, and it's to the little guy, Blaylock. But Blaylock, an extremely good jumper.
Lead to 3 for the Cyclones.
Marquette 3 out, 2 in, and double close, but they'll flash that guy up to the middle. Scott Merritt coming in there. And
Aired underneath, he'll get the bucket.
Showed some of his athleticism right there, taking that ball and going under, long arms, reversed it. Nice play, quiets the crowd.
That really slows down Iowa State. They were on a 7-0 run before that shot by Merritt. Now another foul by Marquette. Boy, Jake Sullivan really working hard to get those, isn't he?
He's doing the job of coming off of picks, and he's not just settling for looking for a standstill shot. He's putting the ball on the floor. Marquette's going to, well, they got 3:05 here to go, but they're going to have to back off him a little bit. Not quite so much pressure because he's living at that foul line.
Marquette with 5 players that have 2 personal fouls, and Sullivan hits the front end of the 2-shot opportunity. He's got 14 points, and 9 of those 14 have come from the foul line. And Sullivan converts on both, and the Cyclones see their lead grow to 3, 29-26. Iowa State on front. You're watching NIT basketball. Cyclones have a 3-point lead on Marquette. Iowa State able to get back into this game and get the lead with some nifty shooting. Now shooting better than 36% in the game. And Gary, they've been able to do that by their defense really turning into their offense.
That's right. It's a good run has been for Iowa State. And again, it goes back to the free throw line, just to reverse what both teams probably were thinking about coming in.
Look at this. Iowa State 86% from the line. On the year, the Cyclones has a team shot 65%, which was 11th best in the Big 12.
You say trouble for Iowa State there. They break the press and attack it, but cannot come up with the shot.
Blaylock with the board. He'll run the lane, and it's turned over.
Iowa State just has not been able to handle the ball. They made some pretty nice passes that should result in points, but guys haven't been able to handle them or fumble them. They've been attacking on the break situations, just haven't had that much success in converting. Marquette ran the basketball well early against Iowa State, coming out of there and got a couple of quick transition baskets, and now they have not been able to go coast to coast.
Inside of 5 on the shot clock. Here's Bell. The left-hander in the lane won't go through, but the tip-in is there. Oh, Grimm gets credited with the basket.
That's what happens when that ball goes up in the zone. Sometimes you miss the man, do not get him blocked out. Again, we got the shot clock still sitting on 35.
In case you're joining us late, there was a WNIT game here earlier tonight, in which the Iowa State women advanced to the Final Four as they knocked off St. Joseph's. And it's been a long night for those guys on the scoring table, maybe. Reggie George will check out of the contest, as will Jared Holman for Iowa State. Cyclones trying to hold on to their 1-point lead. Here's Stinson, runs the baseline.
Nice job by Stinson there. Again, the little guy has what he calls his teardrop shot, and he gets it up quick and high. And he always is never afraid to challenge the big guys on the inside.
Knows how to use the backboard. So does Iowa State. They've gotten 20 rebounds so far tonight. It's been a battle underneath. Here's Mason, and a charging foul against Mason. That'll be his second.
I didn't see that, but it must have been that he pushed off with his arm. Let's watch as they come back, and they got Stinson open. He comes up, and he just kind of gets it up high and lets it float down easy.
And that, folks, is the teardrop. Now a foul on the other end, and Vroman will go to the line. He was bumped by Terry Sanders.
Well, Marquette, Coach Green on the officials there about not happy with these fouls. They're aggressive on the defense. But now, when you look at Marquette's situation, now they have an Iowa State free throw man on the line that only shoots 50%.
They'll shoot 2, and this is the front end. That's 13 fouls so far called in the first half against Marquette. Iowa State has had 6 called against them.
Jackson, as we said, the 52% for line, has gone to the line 126 times this year. Misses them both.
You know, he had a night to remember in the opening round of the NIT, which he had better than 80% from the foul line. Far cry from what he did during the regular season.
Iowa State, Marquette playing without Diener for a lot of minutes now. He picked up those 2 fouls. Coach Green electing to hold him out.
Bell with 7 on the shot clock. They'll look to work. With 2, they get the shot off, but can't get it to fall. And the rebound put back by Grimm, not there. And Vroman will clear it out for Iowa State.
Iowa State should look to go for 1. They'd like to take it in. They had a chance to hold it. They got lucky here getting the rebound.
About a 1-second difference between the shot and game clock, and Iowa State will turn it over. First half winding down. Cyclones have a 3-point lead, and here comes Diener.
Diener's coming in because Marquette will go for 1 shot with 25 seconds left, and you can gamble here with him to shoot the basketball. Iowa State presses, try to take off time off the clock. Clock management is so important. Iowa State a chance to have the last shot of the half with a 3-point lead and a chance to go up 5 or 6. Now Marquette can come out of this. Iowa State comes down.
And here's a layup, not there. Stinson, the putback is good, and count it. And 1 for Curtis Stinson.
Well, advantage Marquette. Turn back to Iowa State as they turn it over. Can't handle the basketball. Staple going in there, loses his balance again. His footage, but we talk about the freshman, sensational freshman for Iowa State, Stinson. Always around the basketball. It's a 3-point play, a big momentum play for Iowa State going in at halftime.
And the Cyclones will have the lead here at intermission. They're up on the Golden Eagles, 34-28. Tom Crean, well, he was talking to the officials, and I'm sure he had a lot of words for them. As Marquette walks off the floor, down by 6. You're watching the NIT. Right here at Hilton Coliseum.
Oh, it is terrific. I mean, to see Hilton packed with Cardinal and gold, and the fans as loud as they are and into the games. What an atmosphere. It's what college basketball is all about.
It certainly is, and I know that you're a big college basketball fan. And, you know, the other thing when you take a look at it, this is kind of a special moment for these seniors that are playing out here tonight, isn't it?
Oh, it is, and it's also special for the fans who followed those seniors through their career here. Both the women's team, Erica Juneau, a real crowd favorite, and for the men's team, Jake Sullivan, Jackson Vroman, Marcus Jefferson. You know, it's got to be memorable for them, knowing, for the men in particular, knowing that this will be their last game here in Hilton. The women will play again on Sunday.
Well, we know that President Jofer, you are a big fan of Iowa State basketball.
I do like basketball. I grew up in Kentucky and went to the University of Louisville and never missed a game when I was a student there.
Well, the other thing is, too, that you've seen success in other winter sports.
We have. We just honored our NCAA champion wrestler. We had great success so far in gymnastics. It's been a good winter.
You know, here we are. We're at Hilton Coliseum. It's a packed arena here tonight, but Division I athletics does get a lot of criticism. But, you know, how important is athletics here at Iowa State?
It's extremely important for the university. It gives a huge visibility to our programs, to the campus. It builds fan support and loyalty. It generates a lot of enthusiasm. It helps with student recruitment. It's just part of the great college experience. And Hilton Magic has really been alive. It was alive in the first game. I think it helped us win that game, and you could really feel it in the last part of the first half of this game.
You know, there was also a big opening here on campus over the last couple of days, the indoor athletic facility right near the Jacobson building.
I was there yesterday watching the team in their first practice. It's a huge facility when you're inside, and it's just great to see the team using it. It'll be a real asset.
You know, before we let you go, I look into the student body tonight, and I see a lot of tan faces. spring break must be over.
Well, spring break is over, and the students are back on campus getting ready for all the activities of spring and their classes again.
Well, what's going to be going on now at Iowa State? You got big Visha celebration coming up as well.
Visha's coming up in just a few weeks. Of course, that's always a grand time here on campus. This is Greek Week. There are just lots of activities on campus involving students, and lots of special academic programs going on, so it's a terrific time.
Well, President Joffrey, thank you so much for your time here tonight.
Well, thank you very much, BJ, and go Cyclones.
We'll see what happens here in the second half. Iowa State has a 6-point lead. You're watching NIT basketball. Welcome back here to Hilton Coliseum with Gary Thompson. This is BJ Shaven, and Gary, what did you think of that first half?
Well, it started out slow, but it really picked up, and there was a couple of key possessions there at the end of the half. Iowa State did not use the shot clock very well, and then Marquette came down and turned it over, and then it was a big momentum play on the other end with Iowa State coming away with a 3-point play. Marquette had to play without Diener, picked up 2 fouls. He only played for 11 minutes, so that's the key there for Marquette.
Well, let's take a look at some of these first half highlights now.
Well, first of all, Marquette, Diener, a nice pass off there to Mason. It comes in, gets it on the fast break. They got the fast break going early. Good passing right here. They kick it out to Diener. Got one of his 2 3-pointers early in the half before he picked up those fouls. Now you're going to see Joe Chapman, the shot clock running down. You can see it up there, 2-1. He hits the long 3. He was 2 for 3 in that first half. Sullivan coming down, or Blaylock rather, kicks it out to Sullivan, and he gets a 2-pointer, 2 of his 15 points. Stinson gives it, coming down the middle right there at the pass from Sullivan, gets a little jump shot, and then a nice pass from Sullivan to Stinson, and he roars by and gets by Diener, who avoids the charge. It was important for him right there in that first half, or he might have had 3 fouls.
Take a look at the first half statistics. Iowa State shooting 39% from the field. That's after starting out the game right around the 20 percentile area. Marquette right now at 33. Free throws, the big difference in the game, as you had mentioned. 13 free throws made by Iowa State, just 2 for Marquette. Turnovers, Iowa State with 8 points off of those turnovers. Marquette able to capitalize with 12. Well, we had keys to the game early on, and how do you think the two teams are doing right now as we take a look at Marquette first?
Well, the 3-point shooting didn't measure up. Marquette struggling from there. A good 3-point shooting team, 4th in the nation, only 4 for 14, and they were not able to throttle Sullivan. They put him on the line way too many times once they got in the 1-and-1. For Iowa State, their keys really have worked. The foul line, they kept Marquette off the foul line. They only shot 6. They made 2. They had the right guys on the foul line before him because Diener and Novak, their 2 great ones, had no attempts from the foul line. And then Diener, nice job on him. Some of that due to 2 fouls and playing 11 minutes, but he was 2 for 6. But both of those were 3-point shots.
We're 20 minutes away from Madison Square Garden. One of these 2 teams will be advancing to the Big Apple to play in the NIT Final Four. Let's look in and find out who's going to be getting their ticket punched. Marquette with a very patient offense here tonight. They've got a lot of players with 2 fouls, but they're well rested. A lot of those players sat on the bench for most of the first half.
Iowa State's defense. Blaylock looks like he's covering man for man. Let's see if Iowa State is entirely man for man. Blaylock is trying to stick with Diener.
3 on the shot clock. Diener will give it up to Merritt. He'll fire one at the horn, but it's well short, and Iowa State will force Marquette into another shot clock violation.
An outstanding defensive possession that time by Iowa State, forcing them down the shot clock, and Iowa State, as I said, it looked like it could be boxing 1 on Diener.
Big shots tonight. Cyclones set a school and Big 12 record, 74% from the field against Georgia in the opening round of the NIT. Vroman thought about spotting up, but he'll drive it in and he'll lay it in.
Well, he passed up his weakness and went to his strength right there. And Iowa State makes the defensive possession pay off.
Now we got a bump way out front against Iowa State against Blaylock. That'll be his second, team's first against Iowa State here in the late half. Sanders getting the start of the second half.
following Blaylock on Diener, and he's just trailing him right now, man for man. Diener runs the circle route, gets open, and draws the foul.
A nice job by Travis Diener, using his teammates to weave in and out of traffic and to draw the contact on the shot.
That's what we're talking about. Blaylock was chasing him all over, reaches in there, and I don't know if Blaylock, they call it on Blaylock on the grab, or
Wayne Morgan was up off the bench a moment ago to talk to one of the officials. I think they called. They got Blaylock, yes, on the foul.
Looked like he reached in from behind the grab, which right there, as a defensive player, you should turn him loose and let your big men take over, because he is out of position on him.
Diener almost had a chance for a 4-point play there.
Vroman on a nice rebound. He lost it and then was able to reach back over his head and secure it.
Vroman underneath. Merritt with a solid board for Marquette. Golden Eagles ahead in the front court. Mason with a wild shot.
Good cover up that time by Holman in the middle, taking on the quickness of Mason. Mason just kind of throwing up a hope shot there, a jump hook.
Cyclones with their largest lead of 7.
Blaylock looking, looks like they're trying to go down low, and a nice heads-up play anticipation by Novak as they tried to go to Holman coming across on the block.
Stinson's floater not there, and Vroman will keep it alive. His shot goes through.
Oh, and Vroman's down. Jackson Vroman is hurt. I don't know if he hit his head.
We'll have to see if we can't get another look at that. Vroman really in pain. It looks like he might have, he's pointing to his head as you see. Here's a look at it.
He faded away there. I thought he would take it up. We'd lose him as he goes out. I don't know, but he immediately held his head. Watch it. Looked like he should have taken that ball straight to the basket. But he fades away from that defender. Did he get a rake across? Yeah, he might have got a finger in the eye. Wayne Morgan, some anxious moments here. Jackson Vroman, leading rebounder in the Big 12. You see his average there in points, averaging 14 points a game, a 56% shooter, and looks like he might go. And you're probably right. He might have got a finger in the eye.
Well, the senior from Bountiful, Utah, up. Off to come to the bench and take some time to rest. I believe they're going to work on his left eye. So in his place is Damian Staples. Cyclones with a 9-point lead.
Iowa State's defense coming up big here for him.
Sullivan for 3. Got it!
Novak made the mistake right there. They got Sullivan on the wing. He goes to help, leaves it wide open for Sullivan. They dish it out, and Iowa State on a big run.
Tom Green wants a timeout. Cyclones up by 12. Well, we hope that you are enjoying this NIT basketball game on Mediacom Connections. If you have any questions or comments on tonight's game or additional programming ideas, contact us at 515-246-2207 or email us at Kent_22@mchsi.com. Keep tuned to Mediacom Connections for some new looks that will be coming your way soon. And it's only on Mediacom, your true local video provider. Here's the shot by Jake Sullivan.
See Novak darting back in there to help, leaves the three-point shooter wide open, Sullivan, who's having a good night, and he buries it. And a tough start for Marquette. We'll get another look at this again, wide open. Just what you'd like to have for a great shooter. But Marquette, a rocky start here. They had a shot clock violation, they had a bad shot, they had a turnover, and Iowa State has come down and made them pay for it.
That 3 by Sullivan tied him for 3rd in Big 12 conference history. He's now tied at 268 with Kerry Cohorn, the former Nebraska standout. So Wayne Morgan going over strategy right now with his team in cruise control to begin the second half. I mean, a quick start by the Cyclones here in the late half. What do you think Milwaukee might be going over here? Marquette going over?
Well, I think Tom Crean is getting his club over there to settle down, take the crowd out of the game right now as they go down by 12. And he's got a veteran ball club. They've been in these positions before. He's saying, hey, stick with their game. We just got to be more solid. We got to take care of the basketball and get some shots up on the glass.
Well, Gary, I think I know
hard to score if you're making turnovers and running the shot clock down.
I think I know what's going on in Milwaukee right now. They want to see some offense.
No doubt about that. And this Marquette team has offense. They average a little over 71 points a ball game. Iowa State's a 74 points a ball game team, so pretty equal there. But you just turnovers and mistakes can be critical to you.
See Sullivan with 18 points. Vroman still getting looked at on the bench.
Sullivan with a tough task right now, covering up on Diener. Diener's going to be a little quicker, pretty nifty, and he gets loose from him. And Sullivan makes a mistake right there, fouling the three-point shooter.
And Diener will toe the line now for 3 of them, as you mentioned. He's an 89% free throw shooter on the year. And take a look at this run. Iowa State on a 12-1 run in the last 5 minutes.
One thing with a good shooter like Diener, and he's a great free throw shooter, you're going to make him make that basket. Sullivan came running after him. What he wants to do, he always, in my judgment, you want to fake at those shooters right out there when you're coming late. Fake at him in, put your hand in, and draw it back out. You do not want to drag it down and have a chance to pick up a foul as Sullivan did.
Tom Crean will go to his bench. Joe Chapman now into the contest.
That could be a big momentum play for Marquette right now. They were down 12. Misses the shot, but he gets to go to the line.
Diener makes 2 out of 3. Ten-point ball game. Now an offensive foul called against Iowa State along the baseline. Damian Staple rung up with his second personal, the team's 4th against Iowa State.
Now Marquette has to take advantage of the lapses by Iowa State here. Turnovers, not getting a shot up on the glass, and they get a shot here. They can get right back in the ball game.
And a turnover here by Mason. Well, you better be careful. He dribbled it off of his foot. A little disgusted with himself right now.
Let's look at this right here. Handling the ball, he dribbles it right off his foot. I thought he was trying to put it between his legs when I first saw it. And I was going to say, you don't have to do those fancy stuff when you're out in the open. I think he just hit his foot. Marquette gives the opportunities right back to Iowa State.
Here's Stinson on the drive.
And you see him challenge Scott Merritt right there. He has the play. He gets rid of it quick from down low, and that ball is gone before a big guy has a chance to jump. And by that time, it hits the top. And here another blunder by Marquette right now. They're just seemingly losing their composure as Chapman steps out of bounds.
Tom Crean very upset. Still trying to work his team and have them gain some composure right now.
Yeah, not Tom Crean type plays right now. They're a well-coached team.
Fast break opportunities advantage Iowa State. Got 11 points.
Running Sullivan off the picks. He was open, didn't give him the basketball. Then says go back to the other side, and that pass is late. If he puts that ball there as he arrives, he's got the open shot.
Bowman's jumper not there, but a foul on the rebound.
Good job by Iowa State's Damian Staple, of getting inside, and he gets pushed by Merritt.
And Merritt will pick up his 3rd, and that'll bring us to a timeout. Sullivan lost it for a second, and then the push.
No doubt about that call.
So it is Iowa State with a 12-point lead. You're watching NIT basketball. It'll be Iowa State coming out of the timeout with the ball. You see Jackson Vroman looks like he's got a black eye. It's his right eye that they were working on, and it's starting to swell up. With some big minutes here, though, for Iowa State. They've actually been able, Gary, to extend their lead with Vroman on the bench.
Like I said, they've had some good play. They've taken advantage of Marquette's mistakes. Marquette 3 early turnovers in the second half, and a smart play by Sullivan again, getting the man up in the air.
This time it's Chris Grimm down on the floor. He's slow to get up. That was quite a tumble, too. Jake Sullivan, the crafty veteran.
Right, you got Grimm 6'10" flying at him right there. They got a wide open three-point attempt going for him. He fakes it, gets him up in the air. For the second time, he's then ducked under and picked up that foul. And another better play if you're an Iowa State fan, because again, we talk about Sullivan, a great free throw shooter, 10 for 10 here in the first half from the foul line.
First trip of the second half. That's his 19th point. Back into the contest for Marquette. Jackson, Marcus. Sullivan now 11 of 12 from the line.
Marquette, we got Novak out of there now, but they've got to get Diener some shots. Iowa State zone doing a good job of covering up on Diener on the outside. That zone really extending. Look where Marquette's trying to work from. They bring Jackson out high. Release pass.
Inside of 10 on the shot clock. Here's Merritt. Blaylock gets the loose ball. 3-on-2, and Stinson draws contact and will go to the line to shoot 2.
Iowa State really coming out on the break. Jackson Vroman checking back in. There's Blaylock coming. Diener makes a good fake, but just late getting there and can't get him hard enough by the arm. Got the shot down, or didn't get the shot down, but he gets a couple of free throws.
Diener picking up his third. Curtis Stinson at the line. Goes in and out. Check the scorers table. Here comes Jackson Vroman.
Damian Staple gets a hand. He's done a nice job in there for Iowa State. Played 14 good minutes in their win against Florida State. He had 2 points, 4 rebounds, a couple assists and steal, and really some nice relief work for the starters.
Novak back into the contest now for Marquette. Stinson's got 15 points.
And that gives him, he's been in double figures now for Iowa State, 28 out of 32 games. Quite a record for a freshman.
Leads the team in scoring as well.
See, Iowa State might be playing a little triangle and 2 because he had Stinson on Novak. Diener gets loose, nice job, pitches it out.
3 from the wing is up and good by Joe Chapman.
You know, as far as Iowa State's concerned, I think Coach Morgan, he could live with that. If they're pitching out, it isn't Diener or Novak shooting that shots, but Chapman this time makes them pay. Percentage-wise, that should be in Iowa State's favor.
Vroman backs in, and he'll get one to fall.
Iowa State started the game going inside to Vroman. They come back with him and establish him right away after he's been sitting out with that injury.
Diener on the drive, and a charging foul against Diener. That's a huge foul. That's his fourth.
Fourth, is it? Okay, yes, that's right, because he just picked it up. Big play, and Jackson Vroman. Iowa State's defense over the last 10 games of the season has really come on. They're filling gaps. They're plugging the baseline, picking up offensive charges.
So Marquette has their scoring leader on the bench with 14 minutes to go in the game, and they're down by 13. Vroman tied up in traffic, and a foul against Marquette. And that's against Merritt, and that's going to be his fourth. Oh, you talk about the 1-2 punch really being saddled here by the Golden Eagles. We're seeing that right now.
That really hurts Tom Crean right now. He's got his 2 top scorers Well, 2 of his top 3, because Novak averages 12.7. Merritt is an 11-point scorer, and Diener 18.9. So you got those 2 guys now sitting with 4 fouls.
Vroman facing the basket. He'll work towards it, and a charge against Vroman.
BJ, in my opinion, a player in that, you have to give up yourself. They work for him, but you have to give up yourself when somebody double teams, because you've got a wide open man to Blaylock. He might have taken that pass and been able to penetrate. Instead, he picks up a foul, and he's limping a little bit himself, Jackson Vroman, as he comes down court. I don't know whether he got a knee or he has had trouble in the last half of the season with a hip injury.
They'll remain in the ball game. Team trying to work on it right now. Ball kicked out of bounds. Fresh 35 for Marquette.
Well, Iowa State's done a tremendous job, I think, of changing defenses on Marquette. They've been traps, full court pressure, 3-quarter traps, a half court.
And a steal by Iowa State, and they give it right back.
Well, you get just what you want and then give it back. So Marquette catches the break there.
Barry Sanders. Bell with it. Now back to Bell.
Yep, Sanders, you don't have to worry about him probably taking the outside shot. No block off there by Stinson, and normally a guy that really hustles to the basketball, and Iowa State pays the price.
And Joe Chapman will have an opportunity to try to convert the 3-point play. That's the 3rd personal foul called against Jared Holman.
He's saying he kept his hands up there, BJ. Sometimes what you have to be careful if you're on the other team in Iowa State situation right now. You've got Diener and Merritt with 4 fouls, and you think, hey, we're in pretty good shape. You can't let down against a team. We talked about Marquette having some depth, quality depth on the bench. And Iowa State can't afford to let down with those 2 guys in. And now this team that's on their floor for Marquette cuts the margin. Then you come back in with those 2 guys. When Tom Crean thinks it's the time that he can get them back into play, you can be in real trouble.
Probably something that Coach Wayne Morgan was going over. That's why he called the timeout now for Marquette. Well, they've got to pick up the slack here down the stretch here. You take a look at Marquette, 14th postseason. NIT won the championship back in 1970. In fact, it was in 1970 that Al McGuire actually turned down an invitation to go to the NCAA tournament to play in the NIT.
People might find that funny, but the NIT in Albion and New York was always one of the big tournaments. And to show you where the NCAA tournament has come from, I remember working in 1979, Magic Johnson and Bird, and I was working the 3rd place game at the Final Four, and I came out to do the game. The tickets in those days were $15 for the Final Four. And when I came out, people were fanning them, had all kinds of tickets that they were trying to sell for $10. Now, that's where the NCAA Final Four tournament has come from. 1979 with 2 great players to now you're filling domes and you can't get a ticket.
And if you get one for $10, it's probably not valid. Chapman at the line. He's got 10 so far on the night. Well, this Marquette team down by 11, but they have a quick strike opportunity as the Golden Eagles lead Conference USA in 3-point shooting, right at 40% on the year. Chapman does convert the 3-point play, and it's a 10-point ball game. Marcus Jefferson into the contest for Iowa State.
Bell trying to put a little pressure on. That's not a bad idea with Stinson. With that left hand and that pad, he has a tough time handling the ball left hand.
Inside to Holman. Can't get it to fall through, but the tip in there by Marcus Jefferson.
Well, what happens in that play, you lob, the defense comes to help, leaves the backside of the boards open, and Marcus Jefferson, when Holman is not able to finish it off, he comes back. Let's watch. Over the top, comes the defender from the other side, leaves the backside open, and Jefferson is smart because now he goes right to the glass because he knows that it's missed. He has an opportunity to tip it in. That's exactly what happens.
Novak called for the foul. That's his 2nd. Just like that, Iowa State gets those 3 points back and the lead at 13.
I have been a travel that time, but Chapman drug his foot, got away with it, and Marquette makes him pay the price on the other end. And I like that. If you're getting pressed and you beat the press, I think you have to make the team pay for it. Tom Crean's team does a great job bringing that down in that situation.
There's Sanders with his 4th point of the night. Sullivan on the other end gets one to fall with a hand in his face.
Well, that's what you call the shooter's roll. Got that backspin on the ball, hits up there, deadens and softens up, and occasionally you get that roll.
There's the answer on the other end, and it's there. But wave it off.
Tom Crean is on the official again. I think they stepped out of bounds again.
Right in front of the Marquette bench. That's a missed opportunity there for Marquette as they turn it over. That's the 12th turnover on the night by the Golden Eagles.
You know, one of the first things you learn when you play basketball is court awareness. Know where you are on the court.
See a case example there for Iowa State. Stinson out of bounds, but it is Iowa State building a big lead here in the second half. You're watching NIT basketball.
Reverse lays up 2 points. Good job of attacking the press on the other end.
Take a look at the field goal percentage here. First half, teams within 6% of one another, but second half a much different story. Cyclones now 7 of 11 from the field. Marquette has made just 3 shots. Main reason why they've got 2 of their starters on the bench, and Gary, out of their starting lineup, 89% of their scoring on the year has come from those starting 5 that they put on the floor at the beginning of the game.
That's where, if you're an Iowa State fan right now, you're hoping that this group can really play hard against the group that's in there and extend that lead, because you know those guys, I don't know how long Tom Crean will keep them out with 4 fouls, but you know they're going to come back in firing.
Well, Joe Chapman certainly picking up the slack. Another bucket and the harm. He'll go to the line to try to convert the 3-point play. Holman will check out of the game as he just picked up his 4th personal foul. Chapman at the line, 75% free throw shooter as you see. Cyclones will run it ahead by 12.
I think that's the thing to do in that kind of situation. I hate to see shooters that fake the ball, and then all of a sudden put it up, because it seems like you just never get into your rhythm on that type of shot.
Near steal by Marquette.
Novak 6'10", those long arms, the passing lane looked like it was there for Stinson. Tries to force it through 2 guys. Lucky to come away with a basketball.
5 on the shot clock. Sullivan the fadeaway. Staple with the rebound. Putback not there, but he'll go to the line to try to earn him.
Iowa State really hustling the boards there, and you have to credit this play in the end to Jackson Vroman, because he was behind, blocked out, but he's big enough that he got over the top and was able to knock it away and right into the hands of Damian Staple.
7th team foul against the Golden Eagles. Stinson with his 4th point of the night, or excuse me, Staple with his 4th point of the night.
Staple just a 47% free throw shooter. As you look at Jackson Vroman, that eye, I was surprised they weren't having ice on it all the time over there in the bench, because it looks like it's swelling.
Just keeps on getting bigger and bigger.
Pressure again, which is helping in managing the game clock, taking time off the clock. Marquette letting them just race down the floor and get into their offense. Got Sullivan on Novak right now, and I don't know if it's Boxer. It might be
drive in and a push as Chapman was trying to create, and he's a little gimpy.
You saw Sullivan hold up like triangle. That's what I was trying to read. You got to look at what's happening to the players, whether it's triangle 2 or boxing 1, and here comes Diener.
Yep, 10:26 to go in the game. 4 fouls back into the contest. Chapman at the line for the 1-and-1.
If I'm in Iowa State's position right now and Marquette plays man for man, I would try to either isolate Diener or I would try to post him up depending on who he plays against right now with this 4th foul.
Chapman.
I'll tell you, Marquette, it's a tough night for them on the foul line. We talked about a 75% free throw shooter team, and he's 75% himself. Missed a couple big ones.
They've missed 8 at the line. They've taken 14.
Diener is covering Stinson, which I don't think, if Stinson get the ball, you got the problem there with his handling the basketball with his bad hand, but I don't think Diener's near strong enough to handle Stinson if they did post it.
Vroman will go to the line as you see him trying to work his way to the hoop.
And that's an excellent pass right there. You see the man 3/4ing to the inside. The pass comes to the outside hand. He's able to take it and then just make his step to the basket.
Foul on Sanders, his second. See, Vroman tonight 1 out of 5. Showing a lot of toughness coming back in there with that eye.
He gets 1 of 2, which is about his average.
Take a look at the foul trouble here. Holman with 4, but Marquette with 2 of their starters with 4 each. Diener, he's one of those players. He's got the ball.
See the tension. We talked about awareness to Diener. You see Jackson Vroman coming right up to help Sullivan as he made his drive. Reset the shot clock on the kick.
Fresh 35 for Marquette.
Look at these coaches. You got both of them up. Wayne Morgan on one end, Tom Creener pacing the sideline on the other. Creener getting a lot more exercise than Morgan. Morgan standing basically still, but Creener's always on the move.
Jackson called for a walk.
Good job. The Iowa State defense is kind of taken over here in the second half. You get trapped, you got the ball on the sideline, he tries to step through, they keep their legs in there locked, and he picks up the violation on the travel.
13th turnover on the night by Marquette. They've got 8 assists, so usually a much better ball handling team. Here's Diener ahead into the front court. He'll attack. Gets it to fall and will go to the line and try to convert the 3-point play.
That was a smart play by Diener. I thought the defense actually tried to drop off of him right here. Watch this play. He goes in, he drops in, and the defensive man is trying to avoid him, but he is so smart that he initiates the contact by jumping inside, makes the basket, now goes to the foul line. So you got Iowa State as a tough man to contend with, even though he's got 4 fouls going down the stretch.
Diener, one of those players who won't go out without a fight. At the line right now, looking for his 12th point of the evening. Right now with 11. He gets it. And Marquette pulls within 12. Curtis Stinson now on the bench.
Pressure here. Looks like a 2-2-1 trapping situation. Close to the Sullivan over here in the corner for Iowa State, calling for the ball.
And it's knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Marquette. Tom Crean not happy with that call, but Iowa State will hold it.
See, Marquette looks like they're going to the zone. I said they might protect with Diener. There's 4 fouls.
Jefferson in the lane.
Some good strength there by Marcus Jefferson. He pulled away from the almost tie-up and then gets open for the little jump shot.
Mason will pull up. Shot knocked away by Staple, but they're going to get him for the foul.
I tell you what, the official just indicated with the hip, which usually is a takeout for an official when they've got a block shot. Let's see this play. Staple goes up, blocks the shot. There's no hip even in the play right there, but that's always an official's out when he thinks he's missed one. You either get the body, in this case he goes hip.
They don't have the advantage of replay like we do. And
big break for Marquette. Now it's Mason taking advantage of it, and that's a big play as Marquette trying to make a move back in.
Down by 13 right now. 8:48 to play. 1 out of 2 again. Marquette not helping out their own cause at the line.
Iowa State with the lead right now. They get the basket there, but I said they don't have to just force shots up coming down on the each possession early. They got the score and clock in their favor. And I don't mean go dead with the basketball, but I mean not force up early shots that you can get any time in the shot clock. Good ball movement again. Both teams 1-1. Actually, Marquette will be shooting 2 shots. They're in the bonus situation. Nice defense here by Iowa State. They force a bad shot. It hits the rim. Let's see what we get here.
No, that looks like a player had touched it for Iowa State, and they're going to call goaltending. Boy, that's a bailout for Marquette. That ball looked to be well short, but Staple reached up and knocked it away. Let's get a chance a little bit later on. Well, let's take a look at it now.
Here comes Staple, and yep, he gets a hand, no doubt about that. Good call by the official.
13-point lead, Sullivan.
Boy, Grimm made Sullivan turn that down. There's a nice look by Sullivan. The Staple on the inside. Staple having some good minutes. He's had some tough luck, but he's played some good minutes for Iowa State. And there's a turnover by Marquette. The pressure again, not being aware of it coming out after the made basket.
And that'll bring us to a timeout. Iowa State with a 15-point lead. You're watching NIT basketball. Cyclones have the lead, and they've been able to get a lot of three-point shots, 75%. And the man who's been taking them for Iowa State, Jake Sullivan, he's the only one that's taken the three-point shot tonight for Iowa State. He's got 22 points. Matter of fact, he has had a lot of 20-point performances throughout his career for Iowa State. His 29th of his career, and a lot of those happening here at Hilton Coliseum.
Well, at Hilton Coliseum, his shooting percentage is 8 points better when he's at home, and he's averaging about 4 points plus per game more playing on the home court.
Well, Gary, do you feel for Marquette, if they're going to make a run in this game, we're getting close to being inside of 7 minutes, they've got to start doing something here quickly?
Well, they're in a zone. If I'm Iowa State right now, I'm going to look at, again, not going dead. There's a bad pass. They try to go to the alley-oop, but you can sit there and run some clock in possession to run it down to 25 seconds and get a shot right now, because you're sitting here with a 15-point lead and 7 minutes to play.
Merritt will check out of the game, and Marquette will come back in with a fresh body, and Marcus Jackson.
See, Iowa State right now, well, they're turning loose. I thought Stinson, they dropped off their man-for-man on Diener. Nice job by Blaylock, a little guard who has leaping ability, coming back to the basketball.
Will on the drive, finds Stinson.
See, I think that's a big play right there by Stinson, where he turns down the outside shot, because that's not his strength.
Follow up by Staple, and Iowa State out and running in full force. On the other end, Mason with the leaner.
Mason has been that route before, challenged the big guys, hadn't had any success. You could see him that time, really pulling back. See, I don't think Iowa State needs those kind of plays right now. Those are chance plays. They haven't had that good a conversion because it's time and score. Here's Blaylock. Nice job of double clutching, and then the follow shot. Staple giving Wayne Morgan some great minutes in tonight's basketball game, much like he did in the win against Florida State on Tuesday night.
Blaylock for three, short. Stinson will take away the rebound. See if Iowa State will work on the clock here, as you see the shot clock in your lower left-hand corner.
Well, see, again, in my perception of that Blaylock shot, he can get that shot about almost any time late in the clock. You shoot it early is what it is. You're giving time to that opponent to make a run at you. If you hit him, naturally you're okay. It doesn't make any difference.
Cyclones like to still throw darts here, Gary, at this point in the game with this big lead. And Vroman to the line.
Well, this game can change in a hurry in basketball anymore. With a three-point shot, you get some fouls called. Both teams in the bonus situation right now. Points can add up in a hurry.
Vroman, by the way, just saw that a moment ago. He's got another double-double, which is his 9th of the season. And Marcus Jefferson gets a good hand as he checks out of the game.
That was a miss.
Yeah.
A bad miss.
A brick, if you will.
Boy, Iowa State has done a tremendous job on Diener and limiting him.
Free from the wing, not there, and Iowa State, it's knocked out of bounds, and it will stay with Marquette.
People questioning that call, but I thought it was the right call.
And now a 30-second timeout taken by Marquette. They're going to work over this with 5:39 to go in the game. Down by 18. As Iowa State will huddle it up, trying to melt down this last portion of the game and then head out to New York, where they've got, Gary, they've got 3 members of their basketball program that hail from the New York area. Of course, head coach Wayne Morgan grew up in the New York area. And then, of course, Curtis Stinson playing in the Bronx. And then you've got Fred Quarterbaum, who's also hailing from the New York area as well, an assistant coach for Iowa State.
And Blaylock out in that area in Boston. You know what? Coming into this game, I think the Iowa State coaches talked about it a little to me before the game. We're a little concerned about going to New York, going home. Sometimes you can want it so bad you tighten up a little bit. But I tell you, in this basketball game, in the second half particularly, I think Iowa State's defense has been tremendous. Their defense has gotten better all year, and they're playing against an excellent club. Shutting down a club here in the second half, some shooters. Not giving them good looks. Everything that they've gotten has been pretty tough. There's the best look Diener maybe have had since the first half.
And he cans another triple.
And he shows you why you cannot afford to fool around in the game when he's playing.
When he gets hot, look out. He's got 15 in the game, which is a team high for Marquette.
Marquette now goes man for man. You wonder when they come out of that zone, and there's the turnovers. And
Diener gives it up.
That's how fast things can change if you don't take care of the basketball. All of a sudden, you've got a 13-point game with plenty of time left, 5 minutes.
Mason with a bucket, the assist to Diener. He's got 4 of them. Just like that, the lead trimmed down to 13.
Iowa State not moving like they were. They got people standing still. Important thing is to keep moving on the offense. Vroman tries to go one-on-one and gets the job done. No help from the backside or doubling up, which a lot of people have done against Vroman when he goes to post.
Vroman now with 13 points in the game.
There's those drives and the kick out. And you got the 4th best shooting team from the 3-point stripe. There's Stinson. He's got a man open.
They'll lob it up for Blaylock, who finishes it.
Marquette has been slow getting back a number of times. So hitting more than I know in this particular situation, they've got to gamble, they've got to crash the offensive glass and take a chance. You're giving it up on the back end.
Diener.
Oh, he can make some plays.
Unbelievable. That lead down to 15. Now we're inside of 4 minutes to go. Blaylock, the freshman, slow to bring it up.
And from Iowa State's standpoint, I think that's good. And there's early in the shot clock again.
2-on-1.
Cause you trouble. Boy, Diener's, oh, no. I don't know if he's grabbing the knee or the ankle. Oh, I hope this is not something serious.
And he is grabbing his...
Yeah, he's a tough kid, and for him to be down grimacing like this, I don't know. Oh, I hate to see that.
Initially, he grabbed his left ankle, and he can't put any weight on it.
Well, that's the best part of this thing. It's an ankle and not a knee. That's the best that can come out of it.
Here's what happened.
Diener comes in. Blaylock's covering me, fakes the ball, comes over there, and just kind of turns that, kind of jams it on the floor as he plants, looks like.
It's like he might have, his left foot might have come into contact with Blaylock's right foot.
Yeah, then it just kind of just jammed into the floor where it didn't turn.
Look at his team, they're huddled around him.
And now, the one good thing about this is you didn't lose anything on the free throw line when you take Diener out, because Novak in there, and he shoots 90.9% from the foul line, and he's taken 66 of them on the year, so it's not by accident. Nails them both.
Novak perfect from the line, and that'll bring us to another timeout on the floor, but it's been Iowa State passing fancy as they have the lead on Marquette. Cyclones with the lead here on Marquette, 3:39 to play. Winner, of course, moving on to the NIT Final Four, waiting for that last piece of the puzzle to be found out. Travis Diener on the bench for Marquette. He will not be in again. That's a report from the bench with that injured left ankle, and in a lot of pain, and he's trying to gut it out on the bench right now. And
we're pretty certain it is the ankle, and that's the positive thing out of it. All players come back from ankles, some quicker than others depending on the sprain. And Marquette drops back in the zone. If I'm Iowa State, I just run the clock, shot clock down. That's what they're doing, get it inside.
Staple can't finish. Novak with the board. There's a drive on the other end, but it's lost out of bounds. Chapman a little bit out of control and had a little arm to it. Unintentionally, I think went right into the area where Diener was, and he had to move and lost all of his bags of ice.
This is a well-coached team, Marquette, by Tom Creener, but they've just kind of in the second half been out of sync with things. They started the half. Novak trying to sell the call there that he didn't hit it.
Well, Tom Crean still working his team. And it looks like a foul will be called on Iowa State, and that'll be the 5th personal called against Jared Holman. So that will put Marquette at the line, as they'll be shooting 2, and Holman will have to check out. There it is again.
Runs him over right there.
Oh, that's a pretty good shot. Was not a cheap 5th foul.
Holman 6'9", 245. I think you would like to try to avoid that foul. The thing about it is now, you look at it from a Marquette standpoint, another advantage right here getting out of that. You get a chance to shoot 2 free throws and deaden the clock.
Damian Mason at the line. He's got 11. And Marquette within 12. And kind of whittling this lead down.
And Iowa State is letting them kind of stay in this game and be in a dangerous position. Let's see if Marquette thinks about fouling early with Bowman still in the ball game. And Jefferson, who hit 2 clutch free throws down at Florida State late in the game to give Iowa State a 4-point lead and secure the win.
Stinson bumped.
But if you're Marquette, not too bad a foul if you look at percentages. Stinson about a 61% free throw shooter. You're down 11, under 3 minutes to play. You have to make some gambles. This is probably, if you're calculating it, a gamble you might have to take.
Brandon Bell picks up his first personal. Stinson converts.
And one thing about that young guy, he's a gamer. And probably if it's when the chips are on the line, he's probably going to shoot the free throws better than if it's in the middle of the game.
Golden Eagles back to their bench. Terry Sanders back into the contest. And Stinson hits them both. 71-58. Marquette trying to work it in, and Sullivan with a near steal. Novak will pick it up, and they get the timeout called. I believe the Golden Eagles with just 1 timeout remaining. But Marquette trying to put 1 more charge into this one. Curtis Stinson. Look at that. Big 12 freshman points leader, 499. That's a pretty good start to a college career. is the all-time points leader as a freshman with 499. Here's a three from the wing. It's not there, and Stinson up with a loose ball.
And that record he broke was Lawrence Roberts when he was at Baylor. And in the Big 12, of course, Roberts going to Mississippi State, who had a great season, and he adds to the total right there.
Now over 500. Yeah.
What a year.
19 on the night.
Freshman All-American team.
And he's got a double-double going, Gary. 19 points, 10 rebounds.
And that isn't by accident, because Stinson averages almost just under 6 rebounds per game. He's an all-around player. They're doubling up on him. Iowa State can just take their time. Bell put it up for 3 and nails it.
His first 3 of the game, a big shot there by Bell, and the lead down to 12 with inside of 90 seconds now remaining.
Wayne Morgan, 20 wins in his first season at Iowa State.
Not bad, and you think about this NIT road for Iowa State.
They didn't get any breathers.
No, there's no cheap way here to the Final Four in the NIT for Iowa State. Now Wayne Morgan going to his bench.
Vroman leads with a double-double, 13 points and 12 rebounds. He gets a great hand, senior.
Andrew Skoglund into the contest, a senior for Iowa State. I mean, they beat Georgia to open up the NIT tournament. They traveled down to Tallahassee, beat Florida State, whom was very good at home, 15-2 before that game. And then, of course, tonight, taking on a Marquette squad that was firing on all cylinders. Stinson a long 3. And it looks like Iowa State will be moving on to the semifinals of the NIT tournament to take on Rutgers. But I'll tell you what, Brandon Bell wants to fire all bullets.
Well, I talked about Bell earlier in telecast. You let him shoot because he was 1 for 6 for Trace coming into this game, but he nails a couple there.
And a foul on Bell. Cyclones lead right now down to 9. But
you'll see another senior, Stinson, hugging on Sullivan. Playing his last game here at Hilton. He'll be coming out. See a reserve over there, Justin Freeze, coming in for him, so he'll get the applause from the fans and the recognition he deserves here on his home court.
Stinson's first free throw not there. Well, the Iowa State Cyclones making their way to the NIT. The Cyclone women also into the Final Four of the WNIT. Now Marcus Jefferson checking out of the game.
What a nice thing for Marcus Jefferson. It's another senior, a team captain. He missed 5 games in the middle of the conference season for Iowa State due to personal reasons. Wayne Morgan kept the door open for him. He knew the problems he had. He said, "You're always welcome to come back." He came back, and what a nice job he's done for Iowa State to come back, adding his team, giving him depth, and now he's going to go to New York and play in the NIT Final Four.
Blaylock pretty much seals the deal with a rebound. A 10-point lead with 33 seconds remaining. By the way, that first game for Iowa State in the semifinals of the NIT will be happening next Tuesday, March the 30th. They'll play Rutgers at 6 o'clock Central Time, and that game will be nationally televised on ESPN2. Oregon also making their way to the NIT tournament in New York.
Great win for Oregon over Notre Dame, having to go on the road.
They join Michigan. So a pretty good cast of teams in that Final Four headed to New York City. And now Jake Sullivan will check out of the game one last time here at Hilton Coliseum.
Sullivan, 22 points. 4 for 7 from the field, 3 for 4 from the three-point line, and 11 for 12 from the free throw line. 3 assists. Great game to go out on. Your last game you're playing at your own university, your home court. And Bell again. Oh, man, where's this guy been? You know, it's funny how when there's nothing on the line, how relaxed you can get. And, you know, I always say that happens a lot of times with shot clocks running down. A guy will just turn and shoot, and he's pretty relaxed because it doesn't mean anything. He's not supposed to shoot it, and you'll see so many of those shots that go down.
Eagles burn their last time out. It's a 7-point ball game with 26 seconds remaining. Still a 3-possession game with 26 ticks to go.
Well, Iowa State had a 34-28 lead at halftime, and I think those early minutes of the second half were really crucial because Marquette came out. The shot clock went off on them. They took a bad shot. They had a turnover, and Iowa State came down and scored. Sullivan had a three-pointer on the fast break, and Vroman was on the boards inside, and they got off and running and got the game pretty much in control then, although Marquette just kept kind of fighting back.
Again, Iowa State will take on Rutgers coming up next Tuesday, 6 o'clock Central, from Madison Square Garden. And Oregon, Michigan matching up in that other semifinal. And what a thrill it'll be for a lot of these players playing in Madison Square Garden.
And particularly the New York or that area kids there, they're going to like to go back home. They'll probably start asking, how many tickets can I get? How many tickets can I get?
Great experience for a lot of these younger players in postseason.
Right,
for both teams.
Extra playing time, and Marquette's going to be back. Novak's a sophomore. You got Diener, a junior. Mason, a freshman. Chapman, a sophomore. Jackson, a junior. Townsend, a junior. They got some players coming back.
Vroman fouled. He'll go down to the other end to shoot some free throws. Vroman 3 of 8 from the line tonight.
Well, stranger things have happened. You realize this game's a 7-point ball game with 24 seconds. We've seen a lot of strange things happen.
Might have fouled the right guy here with Vroman. Mentioned his struggles throughout the broadcast here tonight at the line. But there he puts one through.
Here we come, as Cyclone fans say. Normally with 24 seconds and you got an 8-point lead now. The problem for Marquette in that 20 seconds, no timeouts left. Usually when that happens, when a team gets back in, you've got about 2 or 3 timeouts saved. You can call the timeout, get set, put it back up.
Credited with that basket is Kayron Bradley. Iowa State going with the long pass down the court, and Bradley called for the foul. (75-69).
One thing, Tom Creed has never quit coaching in this game, right down to the end.
That fire has been ignited since the start of the game, and it continues to burn there on the Marquette bench.
I hear him hollering, walk out, walk out. That's why he's won 102 wins. Marquette, 52 losses. Nice record. This is a 2-possession game, folks. It's 75-69. This is a big free throw.
And here we go, inside of 12 to play in the game. Bell has to hurry it ahead into the front court. And it's stolen away by Vroman.
That ended.
And Jefferson's going to put the exclamation mark on this one, as Iowa State will win it 77-69. The Cyclones are moving on to New York. Big game, big victory here tonight. And the only other school with the men and women in an NIT Final Four, Penn State back in 1998. And see Travis Diener being walked off the court with his bad ankle. He'll be back again, I'm sure, and next year for his senior campaign. Not the way that he wanted his junior campaign to go out, but what a game here tonight by Iowa State as they knock off Marquette and advance into the NIT Final Four. Here we're going to be joined here by Coach Wayne Morgan, who I know is obviously happy about this victory tonight, 77-69, as they knock off Marquette. And wasn't easy for the Cyclones, but they do make their way to the New York area with a big victory here tonight. And Now joined by Iowa State head coach Wayne Morgan. And Coach, you know that you have to be very, very happy.
We're very, very happy. The kids have worked very hard all season to get better and better. Their improvement is shown, especially down the stretch. You know, we couldn't be any more proud of this group of kids, how they fought and worked all season. If we had a lot of time, I had a friend in New York that called me. He was my best friend in high school. I've talked to him for 5 years. He said, if you're having trouble following your team, he said, a guy came to me and said, didn't you go to school with Wayne Morgan? He said, yeah. He said, I saw this game, and they were down, and they fought, and they fought, and they fought, and they came back and won, and they beat Texas. It was the most unbelievable thing I ever saw. So, I mean, that's the kind of stuff we're getting.
Wayne, you've kind of been known as an offensive coach, but I tell you, your defense and all the defensive changes you made in this team tonight, I thought it was the big factor in this game. Your comment?
I think it was a big factor. We did some things maybe that they weren't expecting, and we did some things based on particular lineups they might have, and they did help us.
Looks like you had box and one, maybe triangle two even. It was hard to tell.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, isn't it? It is hard to tell.
Well, Coach, congratulations.
Sometimes I can't tell.
Coach, congratulations on the victory and enjoy New York City.
Thank you. We will. We're looking forward to it. Our kids did a great job. We got Jake over here. Jake, is Jake going to get in? Jake, come on over.
Iowa State coach Wayne Morgan. Cyclones win it. NIT semifinals will be happening in New York at Madison Square Garden on Tuesday. Again, as the Cyclones will be advancing to take on Rutgers, and that game will be happening on Tuesday afternoon, or Tuesday evening at 6 o'clock as they beat Rutgers. And Oregon and Michigan will be the other NIT semifinal at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Now we're going to be joined by Jake Sullivan, finishing with 22 points on the night. Jake, congratulations on the victory here this evening.
Yeah, thanks a lot. It was a big win. We wanted to get to New York, and we beat an excellent team in Marquette.
Has to feel good, Jake, for you personally. Not only as a team, I know you're a team guy, but it's got to feel good personally. Your last game in Hilton Coliseum, you got the Cyclones off to a great start tonight.
Yeah, you know, it feels great to play well here in the last game, but we got 2 more left. I've been real focused the last few weeks, and it's going real well, so just keep this thing rolling.
Well, Jake, tonight against Marquette, you know, you guys got off to kind of a slow start, but then you seized the momentum. When did this game switch for you?
I don't know. We just kept battling. We missed some easy shots to start the game that we're going to hit, and those shots started falling, and we did an excellent job defensively on Diener and Novak. Really try to take those 2 out of the game as much as possible.
Were you playing some junk defenses?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
Wayne
were playing...
didn't tell me that when I asked him, but it looked like you were playing some junk defenses as well as your normal defense.
Yeah, we were playing our normal defense. We played a little triangle and 2 on those 2, but we were just really concentrating on those 2 no matter what we were in, if it was our zone or if it was our man or whatever we were playing.
Well, Jake, when we saw the game tonight, you had some crafty moves out there this evening with the hard pump fakes. I mean, that was added to your repertoire tonight.
Yeah, no, I just turned it up a little notch here. I want to go out on a really good note and, you know, end my career on a high note. So I'm going to do whatever it takes to win and just lead these guys and hopefully win 2 more games.
Looked like coming out of the second half, that was the key to me. You guys came out with a 6-point lead. They turned the ball over a few times, but you guys really reacted. Your pressure defense, you showed us some traps and three-quarter, half-quarter traps, and gave them a lot of problems.
Yeah, we did. We were trying to, you know, double-team Diener and get the ball out of Diener's hands and make someone else run this team, and we didn't think they could do it, and that was kind of our game plan.
Well, Jake, thank you so much, and good luck in New York.
Thanks a lot.
Good luck up New York City.
Jake Sullivan joining us. Iowa State wins at 77-69 as they knock off the Golden Eagles of Marquette. Gary, your thoughts?
Well, it was a great win for Iowa State. First half was hanging in there, Marquette, but I think Marquette almost, to me, kind of lost their composure there in that opening minutes of the second half, and that's not a Tom Crean type team. And Iowa State, their defense was good. They limited, as Jake Sullivan said, they limited the shooters. They didn't get beat by the shooters, and also at the foul line. He took them off the foul line. Those guys in the first half had not shot any free throws.
Iowa State wins it. They advance into the semifinals of the NIT. For our executive producer, John Kelling, our producer, Mel Cripp, and our director, Bob Hilmers, for Gary Thompson and the rest of the crew, this is B.J. Shaban saying so long from Hilton. Iowa State wins it 77-69.